everyone, welcome back to Subscale. Last week we launched some rockets with varying levels of success, and today we got 3 more rockets and we're going to see if they can actually fly and can we actually recover them. Welcome to week 2. So Toby, last week your rocket kind of split into 2. How did you end up fixing that problem in this week's rocket?
So on the inside, this time I'm using a lot stronger, I'm using a ribbon, which I tried it, it's not going to break apart. And for the attachment point, I have 2 things of this cardboard glued together on the inside of it, so there's almost no chance of it ripping through.
Now, are there any other design changes that you added?
Yes, actually. I added a twist-offable top, which just fell, which can fit an altimeter if it survives its first flight.
Now, last flight, didn't you also say the engine melted into the fin can? Have you found a way to prevent that?
Yes, well, kind of. Basically, this week I'm putting some paper in between the engine and the fin can, just so it hopefully doesn't fuse itself to the fin can. We can actually do multiple tests.
Okay, and finally, how high is this supposed to go? Or is it expected to go?
Without an altimeter, without that added 20-gram mass, which is the altimeter, it's going to go about 900 feet. And then with the altimeter, it's estimated at 800, 700 feet.
Okay. Well, I hope this launch is successful, and you can use it a second time.
Yeah, me too.
3, 2, 1.
Well, Toby, so it looks like the same thing happened again as last week.
Yeah, honestly, I really don't know why. I really thought this was going to be enough, especially with, look at the string. This is thick. But if you look, it ripped. Oh, it ripped right there.
It also looks like it kind of burned, or is that just
That's just the charring from the charge. But it snapped, which means there's a lot of force going into these.
Mm-hmm. So, honestly, how do you think you're gonna make this better? Since you tried reinforcing this part and yet it still didn't do much.
I think I'm really gonna have to find some really nice string and stuff, because if I look inside the rocket, it really didn't break where I expected it to. It broke on the actual string. So the really only thing that I can think of doing is finding a much more reinforced string, like some kind of Kevlar rope.
Okay. Now, the burning question of the day is: are you able to take out the engine?
I don't know. I'll find out.
Pun intended.
Oh, yeah.
Keep in mind it melted the last time.
Yeah, last time it melted in, but this time, there it is. Paper didn't even glue, so I'm in.
Shoot!
Some good insulation.
You're
Did it break or did it?
I think it just fell out.
Oh, I don't tie this up. All right, good. That's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to launch mine again today with an altimeter because the nose cone didn't actually take that hard of a hit. So
Inspection.
I'm not worried about this thing
Yep.
hitting the ground too hard because I'm going to redo this. So yeah, there we go again.
Good work. I guess I'll hand these off to you then.
Yeah, gotta do some work too.
Yeah. Well, next up, we're gonna be doing Josh's rocket. Let's see how that's gonna go. Well, Josh, long time no see, obviously. Now, last time your rocket kind of exploded and caught fire.
You could say that, yeah. It did a bunch of spirals, hit the ground, caught fire, you know. We don't need to go into details, but yeah.
So, what have you done to improve your rocket for this week?
Well, I took out the space for the altimeter, so now it's a full-on nose cone like Toby's. And then I made it smaller and the fins bigger. So hopefully, and I tried to do some stuff with center pressure and center gravity. So hopefully it doesn't go spiraling.
Now, rumor on the street says that you're trying to do 2 launches today, but with 2 different engines.
There's a rumor. I don't know who started that, but yes. The rumor is there's a D engine in here right now. We have brought some E engines, and this can fit an E engine. So if the first launch goes well, we're bringing out the big guns, and we're going to launch the E engine.
Well, I hope we are able to see that. And how high can an E engine get up to?
The E or the D?
The E.
The E, I think it's at 1,800 feet, maybe 2,000. This should go about 1,000, give or take 100.
Okay, well, I hope we are able to recover it because it would make a longer video and more content.
And I hope we don't die.
And I hope it doesn't explode like last time.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. One.
Okay, that's too cool. Are you recording?
Yep.
Okay. Well, Josh, it looks like your parachute ripped out.
It did. I don't know why that came out, to be honest, because this is 50-pound braid, and I don't know, it must have burned up a little bit or something. But it did do a bunch of spirals, and
Yeah.
it didn't spin. It didn't like go like that. It just went sideways.
So do you think
Because
you
I
know
was false informed, but
Do you think you know the reason why it went into spirals?
well, as someone told me 2 seconds ago, it was CP is higher than CG.
No.
Oh.
What?
Is it vice versa?
CG was too close to CP.
Yeah, too close to CP.
Okay.
So, therefore, it did some spirals. But it was better than last week, because last week, it was just all over the place.
It
This
only
week
went 50 feet
yeah,
last week.
this week it went a little more straight, I would say.
Yeah.
So,
So are you gonna end up using the E motor tonight or no?
I'm going to try and get another launch with an E today if I can, and try and get more weight up front if we have some stuff. And then if that's successful, maybe.
Okay then. Well, you heard it here from Josh. Next up, my rocket. This one's gonna end badly.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alright, so Nate, this is your first rocket on week 2. What have you designed?
So what I've designed is a really, really small rocket, but I like to call it average. What it is basically a hip spin can with a bunch of PLA parts added on top. And it's just a design of a really small rocket.
Okay. What are your flight predictions for today? How high is it gonna go?
I'm gonna say it's gonna go anywhere from like maybe 100 feet to, I don't know, 400.
Okay. And like, what about the trajectory? Do you think? Is it gonna spiral like Josh's, or is it gonna go straight up? You think?
I think there's a possibility of it spiraling like Josh's, especially since when we tried to do a drop test with the parachute and the wing snapped.
Oh wow. Oh.
Yes, this is high impact polystyrene.
All right. Well, hopefully we don't die. So we'll see how it goes.
I don't think it's gonna do that. It's not gonna get that high, not that fast.
And you heard it here to launch pad.
3, 2, 1.
So, how low do you think it flew?
I would say it went pretty good, like really good. I mean, sure, it split into 2 pieces, but somehow the elastic survived.
Well, I mean, the parachute never came out, so that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
How high do you think it went?
I would say anywhere between like 800 to 1,000 feet.
Yeah, it's up there. I'm gonna be honest. And how are you reacting after this? Like, this is your first one. It went crazy high.
Dude, I gotta say, I'm surprised. I
Yeah.
thought it was just gonna go 500 feet.
Hey, that's much better than we predicted. So.
Yeah.
Back to the pad.
Well, hello there again, Toby.
Welcome back.
So you're gonna launch your rocket again.
Yes, I am.
So, as we know, the parachute already dropped. So why are you launching it again?
Well, I just want to test out my new altimeter. If you can hear it, it's beeping. That means it's ready for launch. So it's currently going to measure air pressure until it sees that the air pressure is changing, and then once it reaches the maximum height, the air pressure will start to go back to the air pressure down here, which means it knows that was its highest point, and based on some math it can do, it will figure out how high it went.
Now, are you sure that this is gonna be recoverable?
No.
Okay.
I'm hoping it is.
And that's why we are launching.
Now, did you make sure you have a hole? Because I heard altimeters need to be able to receive the air.
Right
Well,
there's
that-
a little hole in there that I made just a minute ago.
Will that affect it at all?
It might affect the way that it's go, or like the trajectory. It might create some drag, but it also, we've got drag here.
Yeah.
And we've got basically this piece right here creates little drag currents around here, so it should hopefully cross right over.
Okay. Well then, let's move over to the launch pad and launch this thing. I'm good.
3, 2, 1.
Action.
Well, Toby, it launched.
It
So, first question. How high did it get up to?
333 feet.
That's
Just about like that.
That's
That's what it
crazy.
said. Supposedly, that's how high it went.
Now, we can also see there's some damage to the parachute.
Yeah, surprisingly, it actually lit on fire.
Yeah,
I did not expect that to happen.
If you look closely, you can,
Wow, I didn't even see that.
See that other, yeah.
you can see that it burned.
But hey, it came down in one piece. Well, 2 pieces. Haven't recovered the other part, which we're going to do in a minute. So.
Now, I have a question.
Yep.
How do you think the spark got that big? Was it just because it was so close to it?
Yeah, it might have been that, or it might have been just we didn't put enough paper in. I did put 3, which is what I normally do. It might need more. Also, there is some very decent variabilities in each different motor. So even if it's 2 C5s, which is what we launched, which is what this launch is with,
It was 56s.
or C6-5s. Even if it's 2 of the same one, the injection charges could have a different amount in them. There are different variability between them. So.
Okay. Well, it was a pleasure speaking to you today.
Yep.
Now, we go on to the final launch of Josh's rocket. Well, Josh, it's a surprise to see your rocket again.
Yeah, it is. It's fully intact, didn't catch on fire. Life is good.
That's nice. Now, you did some modifications to it. I saw over there while preparing for my rocket.
I added some weights.
And how did you add that weight?
We don't need to know, but it's just some weights.
Okay. So, do you think this time it will fly better or something?
Okay.
Buckshot. Buckshot is what it
That's what we had. We had a buckshot BBs.
So,
It
do you
is going
think
to
it's
be a
gonna
shotgun.
fly higher, or do you think it's gonna end up the same way as it did last
If
time?
it flies straighter, it'll fly higher. So I hope it flies straighter.
Okay. Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there?
Launch.
Let's launch it.
Yep, good.
Go good. 3, 2, 1.
Good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Well, Josh, we just saw your rocket launch, and it was surprising.
It was very surprising. It went pretty darn straight and pretty darn high, and it went down pretty darn fast. And I was glad no one was injured.
Hopefully. Probably.
Probably.
Well, so do you think you know the reason why we couldn't recover it?
The parachute didn't come out, and some things that may have been lodged in there that weren't able to come out. So yeah.
So you now know what you gotta do for week 3's.
Yes, week 3 I think is going to be the best week for all of us yet, because we all are able to fine tweak our rockets to the last thing. Because the first launch I had, it went spiraling. The second launch I added weights, it didn't go spiraling. Problem solved.
Well, Josh, it was a pleasure to see you this week.
It was.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Today, we have seen a lot of crazy things coming out of week 2. We saw some surprises, some things we didn't expect to see, and we overall had a really successful day. Week 3 is sure to be an interesting one, folks, so stay tuned.